jumping in anytime soon?
I was finding a worse, but forget it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the
Gentleman's Dojo. There it is, boys. There it is.
Ah, so good to be back.
There it is. I thought we were going to let that song run for about 18 minutes and then interview our guest for 12.
You're hilarious.
Thank goodness.
You're
you cut
so
that off.
funny.
Full studio today, my friend. Full
Always
studio.
good to be with you.
I love it, Steve.
You brought a sick animal in with you.
Not sick at all.
You brought a sick animal
That
from
is
the
not
shelter
true.
in.
That's not true. Doing great over there, right, Aaron? Sleeping.
It has no.
Yeah.
It has no tail.
We just got it shaved earlier today.
You shaved
Yeah.
the tail? No, it looks like a rat tail.
Steve, unlike yourself, I'm busy helping the community
This
during
dog's
the day.
not getting adopted.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Trust me, it will.
It's got a cone on its head.
Yeah, it just got neutered. You should get one of those. Cones.
Why do they put the cone on the?
So
on the
he
head?
doesn't lick its balls. That's honestly the truth.
I'm telling you, you need a cone on your left hand and your right hand. You need a cone on two hands. So you stop touching yourself.
Do we have a guest? Or did
Yeah,
your
he's
guest
calling
bail
in.
again today?
He's calling in.
Okay. How are you, by the way? Somebody's
Wonderful,
angry.
great.
Obviously, they didn't get a bonus this past weekend or not
No,
working.
I'm not angry.
Yeah. Well, you seem very bitter.
I'm bitter. Look, I am a little disappointed. I'm a little upset.
Why?
I'm looking at that haircut.
I didn't get a haircut.
Did you cut your own hair again?
No, I didn't.
It always looks like
Patrick,
you just
what do you
cut your
think?
own
You like my-
Pat, how you doing?
I think everybody's good. We're all
Patrick!
cut. Yeah, everybody's
Patrick's
good.
not ashamed to admit that he goes. Where do you go? Great Clips?
I went when we were in San Diego. I think it was Super Cuts.
You went to Supercuts.
Yeah.
What do you throw back for something like that? What do you charge?
I mean, that's what do I charge? What
do they charge?
It's usually $20, and then you $3-4 tip.
Okay.
If they could conversation or they leave you alone. You know?
Okay.
I like to.
Well, the Flowbee was a great investment for you.
you think that's a good price for that cut? I
For
like
what
it.
I got. Well, I mean, if I can find a local person, like not a local, but a
Guy
you know,
that runs his own
independent,
place.
someone, yeah, that's what I want. But you
Yeah.
know, we're on the road so much, and it's like,
Sure.
oh yeah, I should get a haircut, and so it's usually, and sometimes places that don't take credit cards.
Yeah.
it's like
A men's haircut here in LA is very, very overpriced.
Is it overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listen. I obviously have TV money. I can, go to a salon on Main
Sure.
Street in
Do you
Santa
go to the
Monica.
same person then?
I mix it up. Sometimes I have people come to my house.
Really?
It just depends. Yeah. I
right.
got.
You know, Jimmy Carter used to have a Spanish barber because he wanted to practice his Spanish from 76 to 80.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what his.
Well, Gary should have a comedian cut his hair.
Whoa.
Boom.
Whoa, boss.
Boom.
Hello.
Well,
Well, we're excited today, Steven and
Super
Patrick.
excited,
yeah.
Yeah. We have on a good buddy who I just saw a couple weeks ago when I was down in San Diego for Comic-Con.
on my phone?
They were doing a.
you
Yeah.
still don't have it fixed?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, that's fantastic. Let's start arguing online. Yeah, Steve, he will be calling in. So we have a guest on our show today.
Oh, boy.
Who is part of the Impractical Jokers team, which is one of the huge hits on True TV.
Fantastic show. Hilarious.
Fantastic show. I was just down in San Diego for Comic-Con doing Conan, and the Impractical Jokers had a big block party down there, and they were doing this block party at Petco Field,
Oh wow, Padre
where the
home.
Padres
Yeah,
play.
Yeah.
It was packed. Just packed with all of their fans.
That's incredible.
They were doing these meet and greets. They were doing these just very cool experiences with them. You could, do cool things, interactive with them. And I got to tell you, it was absolutely awesome.
Sal,
Hey,
what's going on, buddy?
what's up, bud?
Well, we got to give him a proper introduction.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and
Yeah.
introduce him?
Well, Sal, I was just mentioning that we saw you a couple weeks ago. My wife and I were down at Comic-Con, and you guys did this event for all of your fans at Petco. Absolutely, it just blew me away. It was absolutely packed in there, and you guys did this whole day experience. It was absolutely amazing. 1/4 of the Impractical Jokers. How about a round of applause, everybody, for Sal Vulcano?
Sal, good to have
Yes.
you. I got to tell you, Sal.
Gary. Gary's real life persona is much different than his Facebook.
That is true.
Gary is a very don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, Facebook. Gary is very sweet.
He
Oh,
is
yeah,
a sweet
yeah.
man. He
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
be a very sweet man. He is so sweet. He
But-
brought
but
in
he'll turn on you quick.
Oh, in a
He'll
second.
turn on you quick. Don't leave yourself vulnerable with a post. He'll
No.
pounce.
No. Steve is a little upset with me that I brought in a rescue dog because I like to help people. And, The dog is just trying to get comfortable, and Steve's upset.
But
that he doesn't...
getting comfortable means it almost threw up in the middle of the studio.
Middle of the introduction.
Sal,
Well, vomit makes Gary comfortable.
I feel at home.
It's what his wife does every time she sees him live. So, Sal, the way I met you, and I love this. I love the story. It may be a little long-winded, but when Sullivan and Son, the first season was on, Jokers was on. We're both doing the TBS Festival in Chicago. That's the first time we actually hung out. And Owen and I are at the bar, like, oh, those are the Jokers. And then Owen goes, no, they're the Tenderloins. They did a ton of sketch stuff online. Next thing I know, we're having shots, we're drinking, and then you guys are on the road, we're on the road, we keep zigzagging, we meet up, we booze it up. First season, everybody's great. Second season, you guys are starting to do theaters. We're still in comedy clubs. Third season, you guys are out of the comedy clubs doing theaters. We're still in the comedy clubs. And I'm thinking, I don't think we're getting renewed here.
No fourth season.
No fourth season. And look at the scale, the heights you guys have ascended. I mean, do you guys still, I know you're going into your seventh season. Do you still ever, there's got, like when you're at Petco, for example, and Gary's talking in front of 16,000 people. Do you guys still? You can't be numb to it, right? You keep ascending new and new heights. You're going to London to the O2 Arena. Are there still times where you're shocked at the success of this?
Every day, shocked. Never get used to it. I still don't believe it. It doesn't really feel like it's happening to us, or I can speak for myself, me. It just feels like I kind of am watching and I'm looking from the outside in, because nothing about me and my daily life has really changed. I mean, I could afford more rent now, but like, my daily, like I'm sitting at home right now on my couch in my pajamas. My pajamas have a hole in them. I just ate cream cheese out of the tub directly. So but everything's the same, with us, but it is crazy. It's almost like I still can't, like, I'm like, wow, I wonder what that would be like if that happened to me. Because it's like I feel like I'm on the outside, but you're also being very humble because you are incredibly successful and one of the best comedians. And Gary, I love you too, buddy.
So I don't know if you met Patrick Keane, but Patrick Keane is our third co-host here on the Dojo.
Oh, Patrick, hello.
Hey, Sal, how are you, man?
Informally introducing you guys, but I want to ask you this, and I think this is why the show is still successful. It's not a show where, like, Pawn Stars, after a while, you're like, all right, I get it. There's a format to the show.
How much for the
You guys
musket?
keep reinventing things, and the fact that Quinn shaved his head and Murs got to wear Quinn's hair could be one of the fucking funniest things I've seen on TV on any show in a long time. I think that's one of those things that the guys from Jackass must be going, why didn't we think of that? That's genius. And you guys keep reinventing the wheel. It doesn't get old. You keep pushing the boundaries. It's a testament to not only you guys, but I would assume your writers, right?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. That's the goal. Hopefully we're pulling it off. We're still having fun doing it. Every once in a while, an idea like that, like shaving. Q grew his hair out. Q wanted to shave his head like a year ago just because he was tired of having long hair.
Yeah.
And then we got the idea, and we went to the wig maker, and they said it had to be a certain length, which meant that he had to grow his hair for another year.
Wow, before you could do it.
That is a commitment.
He committed, and then, Murr, of course, didn't know his fate. And we had to keep that one secret for like a year. But then we were just so happy with this idea because, like you said, it was like, because I tell you, after the first season, we had 17 episodes. Me personally, I was like, well, that's it. Nice run we had. There's no more jokes to be made. And I guess if you just kind of lock yourself in a room, and absolutely a testament to the guys and girls who write with us over the years, where we just kind of say, look, no, this is the same idea. So, like, we're not going to do it again. And let's keep pushing until something we call, we say until we break our own format. So, like, every season we try to break our own format in some way so that people are not necessarily seeing the same thing that they've always seen. And that one was just wonderful, especially that it was a long-term punishment of Murray for me. And it's funny because he had to wear Q's hair for about 5 months. And
wow.
straight through the summer in every single scene
in the
we
summer?
shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
But Sal, why do you think? I mean, listen, why before you guys premiered, there obviously was a bunch of hidden camera shows, people doing what you guys were doing. Why did yours hit, and why did it hit so successfully?
Well, I think we tweaked the format a little. That made it a competition, number one. That made it not just about fooling people and then moving on. There was a motivation involved, a competition. There was a spirit to it. We wanted to push and make sure that we represented our 4 different characters best, so people would be rooting for us. Make sure the show had heart. I think we also wanted to make sure that we could fail on the show and find a way of making us failing being funny. These are some elements that I don't know if I recall in another, like, quote unquote prank show. We really don't like, I know we are a prank show for sure. And that's definitely what we get called. We get called a reality show, a prank show. But at the heart of it, I don't think we're either of those things. If anything, it's just like a kind of a social experiment show between friends. It's more of a showcase of like our friendship, and then just being like completely ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because it is kind of about like us and not who we're pranking. You know what I mean? So I know like Punk had elaborate pranks. That was a whole nother different level. It was like very elaborate about pranking one specific person. And then Candid Camera was like, which is the godfather, you know, the king of everything, probably the most famous quote unquote prank show of all time. I loved it. And we kind of try to extract an element of what made Candid Camera good, and then apply ourselves to it and a new twist on it. So it wasn't just about like the repetitiveness of, even though I could watch stuff like that and America's Funniest Home Videos, I could watch that stuff all day. But it was just kind of like, for me, it was like, okay, it was kind of one note. And we had a lot of failed. We've known each other for almost 28 years.
Wow.
And we've been performing comedy together for almost 18 years. So for us, it was about we had so many failures before this, and just trying to find an outlet that we thought could showcase our strengths. Because a lot of times we would get a project and it would be like the first time we ever had to write something like this. And it was like, all right, well, we're learning through all this, but what about if we thought of an idea that was plug and play where we can hit the ground running, because we already know how to be ourselves. We already know how to improvise with each other. And so somehow over a lunch, the idea clicked. And it's really evolved over the years, because when we first made the show, it wasn't what it is today. So it was a learning process. But I guess people respond to our friendships, really.
Well,
it's a long-winded answer I just decided to give you.
No, I think the reason it succeeded is you guys weren't cast.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
You're watching 4 friends, the camaraderie, and I think that's why everybody gravitates towards. That's why I gravitated
because
towards
you can
it at the
see the
beginning.
chemistry
Yeah,
immediately. It's not fake.
It's just 4 dudes fucking around with each other.
Yeah, it's not 4 separate bookings, 4 separate agents,
Exactly,
4 separate careers that you guys are worried about, and booking
Yeah.
schedules.
Yeah, that is feedback we get a lot, which is you remind us exactly of our friends. I have friends just like you. We could have had your show. You guys aren't special.
But Steve, that's a great point. It is. I think the pranks are secondary to you guys being 4 likable dudes. It's a show. It's like you said, the chemistry. You don't find.
I was at a wedding once.
Liar.
This guy had a few drinks. Prove it. This guy had a few drinks and he started to like get a little open with me, and he's like, "Yeah, love the show, man." And then after a few, he was like, "If I could," this is never a good time when they're like, "If I could be honest, though, no offense."
That's always good. That's always good.
He's like, "If I could be honest, no offense." He goes, "I mean, you got lucky, like, it's like I could do anyone could kind of do what you guys do. It's
Right.
just, you just turn the cameras on." And
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, I guess."
But that's when
so.
you go to him,
I
you
mean,
go, "No, you couldn't do it because I'm likable."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
dude
that
would
was
say?
that attitude.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So Steve used to get that all the time on Sullivan and Son. They're like, "Hey, I'm a shitty actor," and it's like, "Well, but that doesn't matter."
Gary,
Talking to Sal.
Sal, if just gut reaction, I say the name, the first word that comes to your mind, okay? Myrrh.
Oh God, was that?
Myrrh. First word that comes to your mind.
You're killing me. Murr. The first thing that came to my mind was pain in the ass.
Funny.
All right, how about Quinn?
Jeez, this is tough. I don't know. Because now I'm thinking in like traits, and I thought reckless, but Quinn's not reckless.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe on the show he's a little bit of a loose cannon. I mean, are we talking like show-wise or like real-life-wise?
Just knee-jerk, reflexively, first word that comes to Joe.
Lunatic.
He is a lunatic.
Yeah.
But amongst all four of you, what is the one attribute that each one of you brings to the show? If you could describe the positive attribute that each person brings to the show that makes it such a well-oiled machine. And I guess let's just start with Joe.
Yeah, I think we all have like some predominant traits or qualities in each of us that are pretty different from the next guy, which makes for a good it's complementary. It makes for a good like juxtaposition. I think Joe really is, and we've said this before, but like Joe is just he's just off the wall. He's loud, but in the funniest way, not like obnoxious. He's kind of like just balls to the wall, like just gut bustingly funny. Like he's the type of guy. He has a quality that I described like almost like to me like a Will Ferrell or something like that, where he doesn't have to do or say much to have me bent over. I don't know if he has
bent over laughing or bent over.
It depends what night, but
okay.
No. But I think Joe also has. I think the way that his face was designed.
It was designed. Like, there are people working on it in the bathroom. I love
it. He's got like this 1,000-yard stare. His eyes always look like he has like some type of eyeshadow on. He embraces his belly and his nose. He could just look at me and not say one word, and I will literally have tears streaming down my face. So that's a quality that I don't think it's like almost like an intangible that he has that I just think like we all feel that way, and I'm sure a lot of the people who watch do. So yeah, Joe is just that's it. He's just.
And what's the attribute Quinn and Murr bring to the show?
By the way, Joe is the Burt Kreischer of the Jokers. He loves taking that shirt off.
he does. Yeah.
Yeah, but Joe's got material.
Oh yeah, he made peace with that body long before any of us.
I
love it. So you junior high, high school. Where did this friendship begin with all four of you?
Freshman in high school.
Wow.
I always
1990.
I always wonder with you guys too. Sal, are you ever out somewhere just by yourself on a Saturday, and maybe you're getting bad service somewhere, or somebody's messing with you, and you're like, "Am I being fucked with right now?" Or do you really attribute it to, "Hey, this is just really bad right now"?
So I have a few different things that recur to me all the time. One is no matter where I am, if people spot me, they automatically think they're on the show.
Oh, funny.
Now,
that you're filming.
That's funny.
Yeah, but really like 2/3 of my life is not on the show. So like for most of my free time, people walk up to me if I'm in a store, if I'm in this park, they're just like on high alert, and they think I'm going to do something to them.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I'm not. And then the other part of it is, I mean, like, we talked about how the show kind of evolved. In the beginning, we didn't really like do things where we'd mess with each other in our personal lives. But over the last couple of seasons, we've set that precedent and crossed that boundary. So, like, they trapped me in an elevator one time. They told me that the Department of Homeland Security. I went to court. It was fake court. I thought I was getting, I thought I was going to have to go to jail or pay a fine from the Department of Homeland Security. Jesus. So they've done things to me like that. So now every once in a while, if something is slightly suspicious, I do take pause for a second, and I'm just like, well, let me just make sure this isn't like something, and we have some stuff in the works like that we've been planning for a while for the other guys too, which of course it's stupid for me to mention because I can't say what it is, but I can tell you guys off air.
Okay.
I do love the fact that everywhere you go, people think, "Hey, is this being filmed? Am I on TV?"
Crazy.
It's
like, you don't even
I'm
think
just
about
trying to
that.
get a Thai massage.
Oh yeah, guys, you wouldn't believe it, guys. It's such a blast.
Well, Sal, this is what I genuinely respect about you is that of all the guys, you've gone full. You're in the deep end with stand-up.
Yeah.
I mean, any minute you have time away from the guys, you're hitting the stage, you're going to the festivals, you're doing the work, you're in the clubs. What is it about stand-up that I mean, because most guys in your situation would just be like, you know what, I've grinded it out all these episodes, I'm taking a breather. You are hitting the gas, and you're going to Montreal, you're Just for Laughs, you're at Moon Tower, you're at Skankfest. What is it about stand-up that has elicited this passion from you?
Yeah, because I did everything in reverse, and I'm fine with that. But I wanted to be a stand-up comedian since I was a little kid, and I didn't really follow through with it. Like in college, I did a little bit, but not really. And it was this thing that always hung over my head. And I just was always like, I should be doing stand-up. I should be doing stand-up. Like, I wish I started at 18, 20. You know, I'm 40. And it was like I let years and years pass by knowing that that's all I ever wanted. I can only be thankful that I finally did it now. And I can't look back and say, what if, you know. But I was fortunate enough to have success through another outlet. And, you know, I have a little financial security now where I can dive into it and not worry about, although that's not even, because I should have been doing it while I was bartending way back when too and all that stuff. But yeah, I love it. It's my dream. It's all I ever wanted to do. It's weird because like not a lot of people know what they want to do or whatever, but for some reason I knew always that's what I wanted to do. And I'm just making up for lost time now because I love doing it. I love the grind. I love the challenge. I love the successes and failures of it. Just like every comic, you got to have something in you to want to be a stand-up comic. And, you know, and I just love it. It's a challenge. And like, there's nothing better than figuring out a joke and making it better and understanding why it's funny and then getting that immediate reaction from people on stage. And it's just fun. And then what happens is you end up keeping time and friends with all these other like-minded people who are the funniest people on the planet become your friends. And it's like a family, you know, it's unbelievable. Like I like to go out and get up every night. Like I've been up every night this week, like 3 or 4 times a night. Yeah, we're on vacation, but like for me, vacation from the show is really the only time I can, well, not really, but I can really go hard. Like I'm doing like a few every night. But I just as much to get in there and see my buddies and like, you know, like, and I love, you know, watching them do their thing, and I just love submerging myself, man. So I'm just making up for all the lost time. I have something to prove to myself,
well,
you know, and
the comedy community has definitely embraced you. At the beginning, though, was there some sense of like, was there like some backlash because of the success you've had on the show, and you know, you're all of a sudden getting these spots at all these clubs? Were there comedians that kind of looked at you sideways like, oh, this is another guy that's on a show that's going to do stand-up? Or was it just immediate, like most guys I know love you? They not only love you from the show, but they love what your stand-up is as well. I mean, did you face some sense of backlash when you were first starting, or was everybody pretty welcoming?
I was so lucky, I think. I've seen other people who've been on shows, and I think that maybe their heart's not in the right place. I don't know, but I suspect maybe like it's like, look, I could put asses in seats. I could fill this club up this weekend. I'm going to get on stage. I'll talk through it, you know, and that's all I need to do, or I'll get better eventually, or I'm doing it for a paycheck or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, clubs don't care either. If someone's going to fill up a club, they're going to put them on the stage. And I've seen that criticism of people that maybe like maybe they want to try a lot of people try stand-up comedy. I've seen people try stand-up comedy. I mean, they got up once and then they tell people they're a comedian, which is insane because you can't.
They made a whole social. It's called Facebook. They made a whole thing about it.
They have a business card from Vistaprint.
But I don't know if those people truly want to be a comedian, but like I want to be a comedian. I want to be a good comedian, and I want to leave a mark as a comedian. And I mean, I was really lucky because I had a lot of comic friends over the years because I owned a bar and I hosted a comedy night, and I was also in comedy, like sketch and improv. So I was around it, and So I had a lot of friendships early. And then the success of the show, comedians really took to Impractical Jokers.
Oh, yeah.
And through social media and Twitter and things like that, I started befriending more and more comedians and even hanging with them before I was getting up. And I had a really nice base of friendships, of comedians on the East and West Coast. And then when I first started to do it, like I don't want to take a spot that I know I shouldn't get. And I didn't. And like, I no part of me wants anyone to feel like I jumped ahead of them because of my status or I cut them. I just want my material to speak for itself. So before I even like took any even slightly quote unquote medium profile shows, like just even performed at like a comedy club, I did a lot of work just like, you know, in bars and in like just whatever spaces, just to know that I'm not going to get up before I feel that I know I have something that's funny, that's going to make people laugh, and I could build from that. So I really tried not to prematurely do anything, which I still kind of do right now. I try not to.
It's interesting, Sal, because when I saw you a couple of weeks ago when you guys were in San Diego for Comic-Con, I just remember how busy your schedule was, and you're like, hey, I definitely want to come out and do your show. I'm going to try and catch the end of the first show, and then can I do the beginning of the second, because I need to get back out and do something for the Jokers. And it was crazy because for all the stuff that you had going on, and when I saw you come in to do the show, it was amazing just how much more polished you had gotten from the year before when I saw you last.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah,
it was great, and I'm sure you have to feel that.
Putting in the work. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, no, I was so. I mean, I'm thrilled to do the show. Thank you for inviting me. Like, I won't turn down a show. You know, like I'm so happy to be invited to be part of it, and just to get any time that I can fill in, because I don't have a lot of time. So anytime someone offers me something, it's like, oh wow, like that's an opportunity that I didn't have before. So, you know, I just you know, and then I'm also like, wow, like, you know, I'm just so happy to be part of it. You know, Gary, you're an established comedian. That was a Conan writer showcase, and then all of a sudden I find myself in the middle of that, and I'm just like, I'm just happy to be invited.
Yeah, well, you guys play the butt of the jokes, which is nice. Like there are some hidden camera stuff. I won't say any names or anything, but where it's on the person that they're putting in the video, and that doesn't give you a good sense of resolution. The great thing about the old Candid camera was you showed afterwards what the people that just got pranked or punked, you showed afterwards that there was resolution, they were happy, it was cool, and everybody feels good. With you guys, it's like, I mean, you guys play the butt of the joke, and it's just hilarious what you do to each other. It's
funny. It's funny because like it doesn't feel like we reinvented much.
Yeah.
Kill Mike too.
I guess you know, it's so funny because you feel like you've seen it before. You know, a prank show, hidden camera show. There's been so many and this and that, and then it's just funny. It's like, wait a minute, has anyone ever done it this way? I guess not. And then it's just like, it's so funny because sometimes the very simple ideas, the simple ideas are the best. I think.
Hey, Sal, I have a couple. Everybody asks me this, and I don't think I've ever gotten the answer from you about this. When you guys do the show and you go in and you goof somebody,
right.
When do they find out that they're on the show? How does that work?
It's usually, depending on the location and the situation, for the most part, it's usually just moments after we've dealt with them. If they're in a free-form area, like if we're on the sidewalk, someone's got to get to them quick before we lose them and they walk away. If it's like in the middle of a speech we gave or something that's closed off where they're attending something, we'll wait to the very end because we can't expose it to anyone else that's there. You know what I mean? So it all depends. We'll have like a team of people wearing like earpiece, like they look like secret, like they look like homeless Secret Service, and they approach and say, "Excuse me, can I speak to you over here for a second? We just want to let you know that this was that," and then we just hope for the best because if the person doesn't sign, it usually doesn't work because the show is based on the interaction and people's reactions and stuff.
Yeah, because, I mean, you guys are kind of, when you do it, you're standing off to the side watching the monitors, and you can see what's going on from a distance, and you're hoping to get those people that are distracted kind of walking in, right?
Yeah, we do, like, we will scan and be like, oh, this person looks like a character, and we try to stack the deck, and because if someone's walking down the street that looks like some type of whatever they are, they just look more interesting if they're very old, or they're dressed loudly, or they're sheepish, or like if they have any like really strong quality, that's better for TV because it makes it more palpable.
So I want to ask you this. Obviously, the show is a monster success. You guys probably had no idea. Like you said, you're 17 episodes. You're like, all right, we're done. All of a sudden now, you guys are touring. You're doing arenas. You did where the Penguins play in Pittsburgh. It's one thing to create a successful television show. For years, you guys have been touring in support of the TV show. How difficult was, because by now I'm sure it's a well-oiled machine, but how difficult was it at first to put together the live show, and not only put together a live show that plays in comedy clubs, but now you guys are doing arenas. I mean,
well, they have a cruise.
Yeah. Chris Rock, you have a cruise, but I mean, literally to go from four guys that are pranking each other on television to doing a live show, because if these live shows don't catch on, they're not going to, these people aren't going to pay to see them a third and fourth and fifth time when they go back to these markets. I mean, they have such a rabid fan base, but you guys keep not only reinventing the show, you keep reinventing your live show. So how difficult is that as well to have four guys that probably never really been on stage before, and now all of a sudden you're commanding an arena?
Yeah, I mean, well, the guys and I used to do improv and sketch comedy in small theaters, like from way back when. So we've been on stage together, and we've been in front of quote-unquote people together. But it's a different animal, different beast. We never did, like, our version of, like, stand-ups, so to speak, or whatever it has. And we've gotten better. Like, I know that when we first started, we took a flyer on it. We're like, hey, why don't we get back on stage? I mean, I bet you people will come to see us now that the show's out. Why don't we piece together something and just try to get on stage and see how we feel about it and see if we can evolve it and what it will become. And we started off, we had like, we narrowed it down to like maybe 10 bullet points of ideas, stories, topics from the show, this, that, the other. And we started in these small little comedy clubs like in Iowa and stuff. And we did like a week. And, by the end of that week, 7 days in a row, by the end of the week, the show had evolved. And when you're doing, I mean, we're starting with a ball of clay there, and we were just like, the people they don't know what to expect from us. So we know how to improvise and talk to them. And, they're there to see us. So we think we could at least entertain them. We weren't like, let's walk out there and crush, and we have polished material. So we just kind of went out, and I'm positive if I watch anything from like our first year, it probably sucked. Yeah. But the audience, it was good enough for the audience at least, and it was growing, and we were making it better and as we went. And it's actually that you bring it up, Steve. It's, for me, in my opinion, it's the hardest task that we have out of anything that we do.
The live shows.
Is the live show.
It's crazy
because now, especially now, in light of what you said, like it has to be a certain atmosphere, a certain quality, and we don't have the benefits of, let's say, a solo comic, like to get up, a few nights a week and a few times a night and listen and play it back and change it and have autonomy in whatever you're doing. So that you want to go in this direction. We're doing a stage show by democracy, and we're doing it while we film 10 to 11 months out of the year, and while we're still touring 90 to 100 dates out of the year. So, it's weird because when they want to put up a theater on sale, it has to go on sale 6 months in advance.
Right.
So when we're winding down after 18 months of touring, we're on third iteration of touring right now. So we usually do about a 75-minute show. So this is our third new show.
Crazy.
And when we're winding down toward the end of playing all the markets and it's time to start writing again, the thing that gives me major stress and anxiety, which I don't know if I could do it again, is that they put the theater on sale in 6 months from now for a tour and material that literally does not exist.
Wow.
And then we're under the gun to get 75 minutes of material while we're filming and touring the old material.
Oh my God.
And then you, like I said, it's okay, fine. Everyone has lives and families and jobs out there. Everyone has, but I can't come home and say hi to my family and then work on my own jokes in my house because we have to do it together. So, that's the toughest part that gets me like really sick to my stomach because I want the show to be to a certain standard. And so what we do is we go and we do these, we call them podcast shows. Because a podcast is cool because it sets up a certain expectation from the audience that we're going to be shooting shit free form. It'll be conversation. It won't all be necessarily hysterical. So they come to see a live podcast, and we do like 2 a night, 90 minutes each time, and then we do about 20 of those. So
Wow.
we record, and we record the video. So we record like 40 hours of us riffing on stage doing podcast shows, and then we take that back and we go through all of it and break down, that could have been a bit, that could be a bit.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's great.
And then we narrow that down, and then we do more and targeting those bits and try to develop those. That's the only way we could do it. But it is in the middle of everything else, so you also start to feel mentally kind of like, creatively stifled a little bit because it's like you can't run your brain that much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's so much emphasis on the TV show. But these live shows, there's no editing bay. You're literally performing in front of 15, 16,000 people. It's like you gotta hit your mark. So for me, as not only a friend of yours, but as a fan of all you guys, obviously, to me that is so commendable that you guys keep grinding it out on the road, and you keep coming up with new material collectively as a group. It's a Herculean task. I would say.
Is there a Yoko Ono that's going to break you guys up? Is there a woman that's just going to come in and mess everything up, or are you guys getting along okay?
I was just saying, there's got to be, like, you guys tour together so much. You're sitting at home by yourself on a Friday. Is there any thought of you that's like, yeah, we'll call up Murr, see what he's doing tonight, see if he wants to grab a drink? There's probably no thought to that ever.
Jesus Christ, no.
You would rather just sit, like, you're not calling those guys.
No.
Nobody wants to hang out.
It does completely go both ways. Like, we are so lucky that we get to tour together. I mean, yes, we are with each other almost 24/7.
Yes.
Because we film the show all week long, and then on Friday we get on a plane together, and then we're with each other all weekend long. So we're with each other, literally we're probably with each other 9 out of 10 days.
Wow.
And it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you guys know it's lonely alone on the road on the side of a highway, So we get to do that. And then, when we're on the road together, though, we definitely are like, hey, who wants to go to a movie and who wants to do this and who wants to that. And and the few times that we do have a few weeks apart from each other, you're also like, I'll be excited to see the guys. But when we get little breaks, I think we all feel like we just need to do our own thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Sal, we cannot. I know you're heading to a dinner. We cannot thank you enough for taking the time to call in again. I know you're swamped. Enjoy your downtime.
You're not. This is no big deal, and I'm so happy to call in. Are you kidding me?
By the way,
don't thank me.
Thank you. One last question. My grandma is a big fan of the show, and she said, "Hey, ask them how much pussy they get."
Gary.
And I'm just like, okay, I'll ask, but I don't know. From my grandma.
I'm sorry, Gary, you're breaking up. I didn't.
Sal, we love you.
From my grandma.
We cannot thank you enough for calling in.
Gary,
Continued success.
Just tell her unlimited. Unlimited on the internet.
And what we've learned from this conversation today is that Sal feels I'm an established comic. So thank you, Sal, for
crazy.
appreciating that and believing in me. And I will tell you, here's what I love about Sal. He's running around, running his ass off, entertaining 15,000 people, working at Comic-Con, making sure everybody's happy. My wife and I are kind of backstage just hanging out, enjoying this White Castle truck that was there on the field, the greatest thing ever. And you come over to us, you're like, hey, you guys need anything? Can we do anything about it? My wife kind of made a joke and said, hey, I'm cold. And you're like, I'll get you a sweatshirt. We're like, what are you talking about? Like, just so generous and overextending yourself to make sure everybody else was having a good time. It was so amazing. So thank you for that, bud. Thank you for your friendship. You guys are hilarious. And obviously, I'm so glad that you guys got to stop by, and I'm glad you got to perform at the Madhouse that Friday night that you guys were there. That was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you, man. Truly my pleasure, really.
Sal, we love you. We'll see you on the road. Good luck season 7, right? That you guys are going to start that soon, right?
Yeah, we start writing first week of September.
My God. God bless you guys.
Amazing.
Yeah. Congrats on everything.
I love you guys. I love you guys to death.
We love you too, Sal. Take care, buddy.
Thank you guys for having me. I'll talk to you all soon.
All right. Bye, bud. The great Paula Poundstone.
Gary, literally, I mean, and you could say this about Sal, but you could literally say it about all four of those guys.
Yeah.
The nicest guy.
Yeah.
They genuinely are
They're good dudes.
all
They're
four
good dudes.
the nicest dudes.
That's-
Not one of them has let
An
the
ego.
fame hit their
Yeah.
head.
It's not like this podcast. No,
Yeah,
you know, it's
and not successful.
That's good. It's good to hear that they have a great live show because Trailer Park Boys, which is I'm a huge fan of that Canadian series, is hilarious and I love it. But seeing them live is a bit of a train wreck. It's fun, but it's not like what these guys are doing.
And Patrick and I know guys that aren't selling tickets that have huge egos, and they don't sell shit. They had a TV show that failed. Where can they find you, Steve?
Does your grandma have any questions for me? Awful. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another wonderful episode of the Dojo.
Whoa.
We'll be in Tampa, Florida together.
Oh, yes.
All of us.
Very
right?
soon.
In Tampa?
Labor Day weekend.
Tampa, and then New Year's Eve, the three of us.
New Year's Eve?
Seattle, Washington. I know it's
Parlor.
down the line. The Parlor Live.
It is one of the best clubs.
It's
One
my
of the
next
best clubs.
paid gig.
Yeah.
So
It's Patrick's next paid gig. We are the
Wait a minute.
Gentleman's Dojo.
Where'd you hear it was paid?
Where can they find you?
at Citizen Keane.
Boom.
At Cannon Comedy.
I still don't believe it.
All right.
At Steve Byrne Live, we are the Gentleman's Dojo. Find us, write a review, rate us. We're on iTunes. We love you. Dojo.